Hey everybody, this is Daniel with Propelio, and here on part one of the basic strategies, we're going to be discussing wholesaling residential properties. Now, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like us on Facebook, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to us here on YouTube. But as we move forward through this video, what I want to do is just basically give you the basic understanding of what a wholesale is. This isn't going to be a how-to wholesale video, but if you don't understand what wholesaling is, then this is the video for you. So we can kind of give you the overlying understanding of what this is as an investment strategy in real estate investing. I've been wholesaling now for, I guess, close to 5 years. And unlike a lot of other people, I started rehabbing before I wholesaled. Like, I was buying properties off of the MLS, rehabbing and then selling them. I started out in about 2008-ish, so unknown to me right at the start of the collapse. And I wholesaled for probably 3 or 4 years, and I was, no, I guess not 3 or 4 years, probably closer to 2 or 3 years. And I was buying from wholesalers towards the end, but I never really understood what wholesaling was, and I didn't understand how it worked. I had wholesalers coming to me, bringing me properties, but on an overall level, I didn't have a clue what wholesaling was. So, you know, I was on the other side of the transaction, but I had a guy that I met, his name was Ruben Perez. You know, he pushed me to say, you know what, you need to go ahead and start doing some wholesales. You need to consider adding that in, you know. And, you know, after he told me that, he kind of gave me a brief understanding of how that worked. I went out and knocked out two wholesale deals in 1 week. It was a pretty good week. I mean, one of them was there in, not Grand Prairie, it was in Garland. I had my car parked out at Lowe's, and on the back of my car, it had, you know, "We Buy Houses" sign on the back of my car. And I was inside, and I got a page over the intercom there at Lowe's, and they said, "Hey, you know, the driver of the dark blue Lexus, would you please come to the front counter?" And immediately, the first thing I'm thinking is, man, somebody's broke into my car. I was actually at Lowe's picking up some supplies for one of my properties that I was rehabbing over there in the Lock Haven, L Streets area. And I'm sitting here thinking, somebody's broke into my car, somebody's broke into my car. So I go up to the front desk, I go up to the customer service there at Lowe's, and I'm like, "Hey, I own the dark blue Lexus out front, what's going on?" They're like, "Oh, that little old lady over there sitting down on the bench wanted to talk to you." And I'm like, What's going on with that? Okay, so I go over there, and remind you, I'm on one of my rehabs. I run my own general contracting crew, and I'm in shorts. I got paint all over me and everything. I'm not your typical looking investor, but as I've been in this business for a while, that probably is your typical looking investor that's doing rehabs. So I go over there, I'm like, "Hey, how are you doing?" She's like, "Well, you know what, I saw your car out there, and, you know, instead of waiting to get in touch with you or whatever else, I figured I'd just come in and see if I could find you." And she said, "Well, I've got a rental property that I own right around the corner, and what's going on is I live, you know, 45 minutes to an hour on the other side of town, and I don't want to deal with this rental property anymore. You know, excuse me, I'm 76 years old now, and at 76 years old, I don't have the time to deal with that anymore." Believe it or not, this 76-year-old lady was out there doing a make-ready on her own rental property, and she was like, "Can you follow me over to the house?" So that's exactly what I did. I went ahead and followed her over to the house, and I walked through the property with her, and, you know, it looked like a good opportunity for a purchase and a wholesale. So I said, "Sure, I'll buy it from you." And we went ahead and papered up the contract, and I was able to wholesale it that week. And I assigned that particular contract, I don't remember exactly how much it was. I had two that I did that week. One of them was a $15,000. That was that one. That was a $15,000 assignment, and the other one was a $7,000 assignment. So in 1 week, I added $22,000 to my revenue for that month. That is not that bad. I mean, within a week of me figuring out what to do on the wholesaling side, I had two contracts, one for 15 grand, one for 2,000. When I say 15 grand and one for 7,000, that was my assignment fee. That was a $22,000 gross profit for that week. Not a bad way to get started. So if you're not quite sure of what wholesaling is, I'm going to show you the basics of it here, and we're going to follow up this video series called The Basics with another video series where we go into each and every individual strategy step by step and provide you with actionable items to go ahead and move forward with so you can start doing this on your own. So looking at the wholesaling strategy boiled down to its simplest form is what you're trying to do is find something at a discount that you can resell for a profit. That is essentially the wholesaling strategy as a whole. There's a lot more involved with it than just that, but you need to find properties that come with a significant discount, and then what you're trying to do is find somebody else that has the money to buy it that can pay you more than what you have it under contract for. Now, there's different ways of doing this, and I'm not going to get into depth on all these different ways. You can assign the contracts, you can double close the contracts, and those are all things that we will discuss and teach in the wholesaling training series. But overall, just try and keep it in the back of your head. What you're trying to do is negotiate the purchase of a property at a discount that you could turn around and either resell or assign at a profit. Okay, so looking at an example of how a wholesale transaction works. Let's say I do some marketing, I post some ads out on Craigslist, or I do some network marketing, and I ask somebody, hey, would you consider selling your house? And for whatever reason, I'm able to negotiate. I look at the property, I determine what the property would be worth, all fixed up, and I say that all fixed up it'd be worth, let's say, $115,000. And at $115,000, I'm able to look at the repairs and I look at everything else involved with it, and I say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and offer you $75,000 for the property, and the seller agrees to do that. So up till now, what we have done is we've done some marketing, we found a property, and we put that property under contract for $75,000. Okay, so now some of the people out there are wondering, hey, I don't have $75,000 to buy a house. I don't have that. Well, what you're doing is assigning contracts. And I don't condone going out there and misrepresenting yourself as a final buyer, saying, you know what, I've got $75,000. I want to buy your house cash. When you're working with these people, and we'll go into more depth on this in the series, you need to represent yourself as what you are. And as a wholesaler, you are sourcing properties as an investor, and you were assigning the contract. Now, as an investor, I may do several different things. I may buy it to rehab it, I may buy it to rent it, or I may assign it to another buyer. There's all different kinds of strategies I may do, but I need to make sure that I let that person know what I am doing as the wholesaler. So I'll put the property under contract for $75,000. Now it's under contract for $75,000, but I've got a really good friend on the other side of town that I know that likes to buy in this little pocket of neighborhood. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call him up and I say, hey, I've got a really good property over here at 123 Main Street, and I'll offer it to you right now for $82,000. It needs about $8,000 in repairs, and after it's all said and done with, it could probably retail for about $115,000. This would be an excellent rental for you to hold in your portfolio. It's got great cash flow, but I've got it, and I'm willing to give it to you for $82,000. My good friend on the other side of town, Mr. Smith, says, you know what, I'll take that property from you. I'm willing to pay $82,000 for it. And what I'm going to do from there is say, okay, well, I can either double close it, and I don't want to confuse you here. That's not my point here. What I'm trying to do is just give you the understanding of what we're doing, and that is finding something at a discount and providing it to somebody else at a higher price and collecting the difference in between. So I've gotten him to agree for $82,000. I've got the contract for $75,000. If you can do the real quick, simple math on that, that's a $7,000 difference. So if he's willing to pay $82,000, they're willing to sell for $75,000. I'll take that contract to title, I'll close everything out, and whenever the property sells, I will now collect not $70,000, I wish that was $70,000. I'll collect $7,000 as my gross profit on that transaction. Now, that is boiled down into its most simplest of forms, but now you have at least a brief understanding of what wholesaling is. Now, there are things to consider in this. Wholesaling as a strategy is something that many people getting into this business are attracted to, and that is because starting out, you really need no credit or no upfront capital. For a lot of people out there, that might seem, against what they've always learned. Oh, you need money to make money. Well, not really. You need knowledge to make money. You can make money with knowledge and go really far. I mean, you can take a rich person, completely bankrupt them within a year, they'll be rich again. It's not because of what they have in their back pocket, it's because of what they have in their head. So wholesaling as a strategy is something you can do with zero money and no credit. But I need to preface that with, if you're going to scale this business, don't let that stick to you, because to scale this business, you are going to need to put capital into your bank. Use that capital for marketing. Marketing is by no means, as a wholesaler, an optionable action. I talk to a lot of real estate investors that are trying to get into this business or wanting to get into this business, and they have this concept in the back of their mind that, oh, they can learn all this different stuff and they're a professional real estate investor, but they're not not a wholesaler, but they're not a marketer. And you must completely and totally reverse that thought process. If you're going to be a wholesaler, if nothing else on any of these other strategies, you need to be a marketer number one and a real estate investor number two. So marketing is the lifeblood of a wholesaler's business, and you must master the marketing aspect of this. Now, marketing can be done for free or it can be done for a paid service. I mean, like direct mail is expensive. You go out on Craigslist and post ads for free. So depending on what you got there, I mean, you've got all spectrum spectrums of this, but wholesaling is very attractive because to get into it, the barriers to entry are minimal. You really need some basic understandings of what's going on, and from that point forward, you can progress in this business. I started out with no knowledge of wholesaling at all, and like I said, within a week, I was able to knock out 2 contracts for a $22,000 gross profit. That's not an exaggeration. It can be done, but processes need to be put in place, and to scale this business, you will need to start putting some money into it for marketing, and it's time intensive. You're not gonna wholesale a 100 houses in a year without having staff on board to help you with closings, to help you with answering phone calls, to help you with acquisitions, to help you with sales. All of those things need to be handled, outsourced, created systems around and built. But if you're looking to make a business out of this, very easy to do. And let me rewind that. I'm not gonna say very easy to do, but very feasible to accomplish. It can be done. It can be done from somebody starting out with absolutely no money in their back pocket. So I would like for you to take away from this as maybe a beginner or somebody that's looking to get into this. This is something that you can do to put some capital into your bank, but you need revenue as a whole from multiple different sources. You're going to need earned income, you're going to need passive income, you're going to need portfolio income, and where wholesales lie in a general sense, because you can create earned income and passive income and portfolio income from wholesaling, but as a basic strategy, it is an earned income, meaning that you have to go out, create that paycheck, and from that paycheck, you get money in your bank account. But if you don't do another wholesale deal from that point forward, your bank account goes down and down and down and down. So wholesales is earned income. You create a paycheck, it goes into the bank. You create a paycheck, go into the bank. And when I say paycheck, I would say my average wholesale deal in 2015 was somewhere between $3,000 to $7,000 a pop. But that's not saying there wasn't times where I would wholesale a deal and I would come across with, a $40,000 payday, a $30,000 payday, a $50,000 payday. Those aren't unobtainable. I'm actually in the process of negotiating the purchase of a property right now where I will be paying a $300,000 assignment fee. That $300,000 assignment fee is massive. So don't think that wholesaling is just the bottom of the barrel, but also don't think you're going to be knocking out $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 wholesales all the time. It can be done. It can be done monthly, quarterly. Just expect it to scale up. But you're going to need to implement other strategies as well to add in some portfolio income and some rental income, portfolio / passive income. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw. I hope you enjoyed what you saw today, and let us know that you enjoyed it by clicking the thumbs up button, subscribing to us on Propelio, or subscribing us to on Propelio on YouTube, going to Propelio on Facebook, liking us there. And don't forget to go to Propelio.com to check us out there. I mean, we are providing content like this daily. I know this was a very basic video, but we're going to be following this up with like a 10 or 12 part wholesaling series that's going to teach you everything I just talked about step by step by step. If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to like us, and thank you. Have a great day.